Hey everybody, this is Kirsten here. Before we start today's podcast, I have an announcement to make. What is it? Well, this is something really, really amazing, and I'm really excited about it. I'm going to give away 3 months of free coaching to one of you. If your goal is to get fitter, leaner, build muscle, get stronger, and healthier, now this is your chance. And you heard it right. It's 100% free. 3 months of free coaching with me. It's going to be designed for you, nobody else. We're going to work together very closely. We have our meetings, we have our check-ins, all the things that my clients pay a lot of money for. So if you are interested, there's one thing that you have to do, and that is send me an email. My email is kirstenkimura@gmail.com. I will put that in the show notes and in the description as well. And send me just one word. And the word is application. When you send me this email, I receive it. I will send you the link that takes you to this application. It's very short, nothing complicated there. You'll send it back to me, and I will announce the winner on Monday, April 10th. So the applications are open until Sunday, the 9th, and the winner will be announced on Monday, the 10th of April. A couple of things you have to know. I really expect that you are very serious about this opportunity, that you are ready to invest yourself fully, all your time and energy, everything you need to do to get the result, because this is the level of commitment that I am expecting. If you're just kind of sort of maybe wanting it a little bit, then don't apply. Also, please don't apply if you're having hypothalamic amenorrhea or an eating disorder, body dysmorphia. I am not a coach for you. But if you have been wanting to get fitter, leaner, stronger, healthier, all of that good stuff, then now this is your chance. So what are you waiting for? You should be already typing in my email and sending me that word application. So this is all I got for you. Now let's dive into today's episode. Hey everybody, what is going on? This is Kirsten here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Whether you are watching this on YouTube or listening to this podcast, your favorite podcast app, doesn't matter. As long as you're here, I am so grateful for you. Today, we're going to talk about how you can maximize your strength training. And we're going to talk about the things that you maybe haven't really thought about before. Because if you have been a listener for a while, you know that we have covered what kind of weights to use and how frequently to work out and many other things that are kind of like the foundations, the fundamentals, what we have to know about strength training. Today is going to be more like how can we fine-tune things. So before that though, I want to make sure that you are aware of and already a member of our Fit and Fueled Facebook group, which is a group meant for women who want to get fitter, leaner, healthier, stronger, put on more muscle mass because that's healthy for you and also looks good. And maybe also want to lose some body fat. So this is you, and you don't want to give up your cookie. You don't want to give up your whatever little fun things you have and you want to eat and enjoy them. You want to enjoy the time with your friends, family, and eat out. You can do all this while still getting the results that you want to get. So in this group, we're not doing any crazy diets. I'm completely against crazy diets at all. None of the 1,000-calorie eating, none of the fasting, none of the keto. We just don't do that because this stuff doesn't work long term. So if you want to do something that's actually sustainable, and why wouldn't you want that? Then make sure that you join the Fit and Fueled Facebook group. All right, so shall we talk then about the 4 things that you can do to really maximize your workouts? And the first thing is going to be your nervous system, the state of your nervous system. Now, this is something that I find that hasn't really been talked about a whole lot in this fitness world, especially when it relates to muscle building. And what a lot of people don't understand is that when they are constantly in this high stress state, this is actually not helpful for muscle building at all. So you can look at it this way. We can be in a mostly catabolic state, or we can be in a mostly anabolic state. So what do these terms then mean? Well, catabolic means more like when we are stressed out and we are breaking down the tissues. So if we have constantly high amounts of stress, we have high amounts of cortisol because we are doing things like that stress us out all the time. This puts body in the catabolic state, and this is not a good place for building. Now, the opposite of that is anabolic state, and anabolic is where the building happens way easier because our nervous system is in a more calm state. So if you have a hard time remembering these terms, don't worry, you don't have to remember these exactly. There's not going to be a test or anything like that. But if you want to remember, you can think catabolic, cortisol. And we have talked about cortisol a couple of episodes back, how chronically high amounts of cortisol in our bodies will kind of encourage fat gain and breaking down the muscle tissue. And this is not the safe situation for your body. That's why it's doing this. This is why it's losing muscle. This is why it's putting on body fat, because body fat, it's like insurance policy. I'm not going to give it away. This is important for me. So this is the state where your body is in when you're highly stressed out. And this is not a good place for muscle building. And now the other one is anabolic state, is where you are more calm, more relaxed. And this sends your body the signal that this is a safe time, safe environment to grow muscle. And this is where you want to make sure that you spend a little bit more of your time, because most of us don't spend too much time there. A lot of us are constantly stressed out, and you can literally watch how you're going through your day. Do you pile on like so many things that you have to do, one thing and the other and the third, and you take on so many responsibilities? And then you also have other stressors like, constant phone notifications, and the TV is on and the music is on and people are loud, and, maybe there's some, fighting or stress or traffic. If you're constantly in this situation, in this environment, this doesn't send your body the signal of safety, and it's very hard to get stronger and build muscle in this environment. So you want to make sure that you find ways throughout the day to come into this more anabolic state, more into relaxed and kind of chilling back and rest and digest mode, because this is way better for your body. This is where your body can actually heal from workouts and grow. And of course, when you are working out, you are in a stressed out state, because when you are lifting weights, you're pushing your body, right? You definitely have some stress hormones in the body, but it really matters also what you're doing after that. Are you staying in this state for too long, or are you taking your body out of this state? And it is important that you take your body out of this state more often than most of us do. So what can you then do? You can just sit down and take breaks, or sit outside in the sun, or listen to some chill music. Also watch how you talk, how you walk. I always fast-paced everything, doing a million things at once, multitasking, listening to loud, aggressive music. All these things actually keep you in high alert. So you got to find ways to bring more of this chill vibes into your life. And this is not only, of course, we can then build muscle. You're going to feel better when you do that. You're just going to feel calmer overall, and it's going to be so much better for you, because you know that this stressed out state, this high alert state, is not supposed to be ongoing. It's supposed to be temporary when we are actually under some kind of threat, or there's some danger going on. This is what the brain senses. Yes, then it's cool, then it's fine, it's very helpful, but it shouldn't stay on. So if you can take yourself out of that really catabolic state more often, then you're actually improving your muscle building ability as well. The next point, how you can maximize your lifting, is unlearning some of the old workout behaviors. And these behaviors mostly come from circuit type of training and HIIT type of training. So these are the behaviors that always are telling you that in order to lose more fat and burn more calories, you have to do more stuff. And I can never rest, I just have to push harder. And this really does come from the circuit training mindset. And many of us have done it. I've done it too, but I got myself out of it. Like I've always said, it was fun to teach these classes. The group vibe was really, really wonderful. I loved it. But at the same time, I didn't realize that it actually didn't help me or the participants definitely get the maximum results. And this is just not the nature of a bootcamp class. Bootcamp class to me is it's like fun. Let's have fun with our friends, work out together, cheer each other on, maybe go eat after that. Yeah, it's very cool like that. But if you really want to change your body composition and put on some muscle and get stronger, then you have to unlearn these behaviors. And it's also not only boot camps and circuit training in a group setting. It's also when you are doing those workouts from apps or YouTube where you just change really quickly from one exercise to another with no rest in between. You're just going and you're doing these tiny little circuits with, like, I don't know, tiny little booty bands or like 5-pound weights or 3-pound weights. This is also something that is not going to give you results. So you have to unlearn this thing and kind of think more like a big girl weight. These are like small girl weights. And okay, they were fine when you started, but now we got to upgrade a little bit and we have to start using heavier weights and rest between the sets. That's another thing that we have to unlearn. And maybe you have already started taking some steps towards it. Let's say that maybe previously you didn't rest at all between the sets. You just went from one exercise to another, and now you're resting 30 seconds. But what if I told you that there are cases where you have to sit down for 3 minutes? And I use this in my training, definitely. Today I'm planning to do some heavy deadlifts, and I know I'm going to sit 3 minutes between these sets. So get more familiar with longer rest breaks, unlearn all the crap that you've been told that you have to work harder and spend every minute of your workout pushing your limits and doing more cardio if you want to lose fat. Because no, the number one thing for your fat loss and weight loss and actually, I correct that, fat loss, not necessarily always weight loss. For fat loss and muscle building ability is that you push your body, you lift heavy and then sit down and rest. So you gotta unlearn these circuit and boot camp type of training and what you did there. All right. The next very important thing to understand is your form is really important if you want to make more progress and maximize your lifting results. And of course, I always encourage you lift heavy because most women don't. Most women are really afraid of picking up heavier weights. They think that they become men or whatever the stories are. So I always encourage them to use more weight. At the same time, number one thing is still always the form. Is your form good enough for you to increase your weight? So the form is important. Mobility is also important. So for example, when you do your squats, you want to squat to until parallel at least, right? So where you're 90 degrees, your knees and hips are on the same level. If you're now only piling on weights, but you cannot even get to that depth, then you're doing it wrong. So you have to first work on that depth and get your butt lower to the ground. And if that means that you're going to take lighter weights, then you're going to take lighter weights. So I feel like maybe I haven't really emphasized that as much as I need to, but it really is important. For example, the other day, one of my clients, they sent me the exercise videos to make sure that the form is good. And I see her, doing lunges and barely bending her knees because the weights are just so heavy. And I'm telling her, hey, you got to put these heavy weights down, take something lighter and see if you can get deeper into your lunge. So your knees almost getting to the ground, because that's how you use way more muscle fibers, and you're going to get more out of your exercise, even if you are not using quite as heavy weights. So it is more important that you do the exercise correctly, you move through the full range of motion and use your maximum mobility. If your mobility is really poor and you cannot get to the parallel with your squats, you have to work on your mobility, figure out what's going on there. Is it the ankles? Is it the hips? Where's the sticking point? And work on that before you pile on weights. But if your mobility is good and your form is good, then just add weights and challenge yourself. And the last point that will really maximize your lifting results is not paying so much attention to your scale. Well, I can't say that this is something new and something that I haven't talked about a lot. I have talked about it a lot, but I want to emphasize it because if you're telling me that you want to gain muscle and get really strong, it can happen that your scale may either stay in the same place or it may go up. And you have to be okay with it because the muscle is not thin air. I've probably said that 17 million times already on this podcast, but it's literally like a piece of meat. If you open your fridge right now and you have a 3-pound chunk of roast there or something, this is muscle. Can you really think that it doesn't weigh anything? Obviously it does. And so does your muscle. So when you increase your muscle mass, then your scale may go up. And now to think that this is a bad thing or getting all disappointed and all frustrated because you haven't seen results, then have you not really seen results? If you have been lifting consistently for 3-4 months, this is where you start really seeing results. And it may not always be the scale. It may not always be the scale, but you may get stronger and you may put on some muscle mass. Now, I know that this will be really tricky for those who are currently in a reverse diet. If you know what that is, if you don't, then please go back. I've done so many episodes on reverse dieting, but basically in reverse dieting, we need it for somebody who's been in a calorie deficit for way too long or done yo-yo dieting, and now we have to heal their metabolism to bring it back up. And during this time, we're lifting weights and we're increasing calories. And now this may be really like scary place for a lot of people because they're not yet losing body fat, but they're putting on muscle. So they're now in this kind of like in between phase where they feel like, oh my goodness, like the muscle's coming on, but I'm not getting leaner just yet. For those people, you gotta stick with it and power through it, and just trust that once you build up this muscle mass, once you heal your hormones and heal your metabolism from this chronic dieting, then later on you can start losing that body fat by going into a little bit of calorie deficit. And then this muscle that you have now built in this, let's say, 4 to 12 month period will be revealed, and it's going to look so much better. But I do understand that there's this scary phase where you're like, oh my God, fat is not going down yet and muscle's coming on. I'm gaining weight. What the hell is that about? So I want you to calm down, know that you are on the right path. There's no other correct way to do this. This is really the only way to do this. If you have been a chronic dieter, you have to start lifting weight, you have to start eating more, and later you can lose some body fat. All right, so this is it. If you want to maximize your lifting results, make sure that you know that you check in with your nervous system. Where am I? Am I in this super catabolic, freak out, high cortisol state all the time? Or am I putting myself consciously? You can make that choice into this more anabolic state where the body can heal and grow. The second thing is unlearn the circuit type of training mindset. The third thing, make sure that your form and mobility are great. And the last thing, you may have to give away the scale if it bothers you so much and if you cannot see the scale going up a little bit. All right, this is all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Make sure that you join my Fit and Fuel Facebook group for more fun conversations like this. Thanks again. I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.